Hey guys, what up? It's your boy Khan TDK, Mr. So Real, and in today's video we are going to be real talking about why people really are not enjoying the Division. Now I know that this is quite a bit of a hot topic lately. A lot of people are not happy with the game. They're not happy with the nerfs. They're not happy with the ninja nerfs. They're really just not enjoying the game, and today I just wanted to go in and give you my honest opinions about it as someone who covers the Division on YouTube. I wanted to cover it as a gamer, as someone who plays it, and to cover it as someone who plays on the PlayStation 4. So, without further ado, let's talk about why the Division is a lot like grandma. So first and foremost, let me say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the channel as of lately. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate all of that. Please remember to keep doing what you're doing. Remember to hit that like button if you like the content. And yeah, that's about it. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Twitch and all that other good stuff. So let's get this real talk started, because I got some stuff I really want to go in on. So first off, the Division is, for me personally, is kind of hitting its fall off point. As someone who covers it, it's really hard to say that, and it's really hard to kind of admit that, but I have made videos in the past, in particular how to make the Division more fun, and some people are really agreeing with some of the ideas that I had, and some people disagreed, and they also had some really good ideas as well. But I think a lot of people can kind of agree together that the Division is lacking in the fun department. It feels really grindy. It feels like there's a lot of stuff that they want you to do, to grind, to get your character together, to do some of this harder in-game content, but doing that stuff is not very fun. Now, they have talked on their State of the Game about, they know that the drops are not that great, and you know, getting good drops is going to make people happy, is what they think in their mind. But what I really believe is that it isn't necessarily getting a good drop that makes the game successful or makes it something that players want to play. I think it's more about having fun and getting good drops. Yes, you do want to feel rewarded for the hard work that you put into it, but if you're not having fun, you're just doing stuff to do stuff to get stuff that will eventually become obsolete, there's really not a point. And a lot of players are kind of catching on to that and starting to look for the exit, or they're already out the door and they're long gone. Now, for me personally, this is kind of a really hard pill to swallow, because this is almost kind of like visiting your grandma in the hospital. She still has this sentimental value, and you really see like all of the good things and the time that you shared together, and you feel great. You know, I got my grandma. It's my grandma. That's kind of how you feel. And you know, when I played the Division for the first time, I looked at how beautiful the game was, the atmosphere of the game, being in New York City, feeling like you're part of this mission to bring back humanity and save it from this killer virus. And it had this story and so many things to do, and you had these challenging encounters that required you to use cover, and you shot and you leveled up your character and gained these skills, and you started to feel special and feel like you were making your own way. But eventually it just kind of fizzled out, and I think that's one of the big problems with the game, is that there's very little uniqueness amongst the characters. And because the game really is pushing flexibility, people are not seriously investing in one thing and feeling like their character is really special. Because you can make a level 30 character and basically just swap gear. And that's pretty much about it. As long as you got your high level character, you can swap the gear, and then that's pretty much it. You're done.
That should help.
And you can make any character that you want depending on what kind of gear sets you get. And it's kind of a cookie cutter thing where everybody says, well, if you have this kind of gear, you put that together and then you can do this. And then that's kind of it. Now, the main problem that I have kind of with the Division, which I'm starting to realize the more that I play Destiny, is that there is no reward for being a skilled player. And that's really why it's not so much fun. In my opinion, you may disagree, but this is what I feel. Now, you might be saying, Khan, how can you say that? What do you mean? There's no skill. There's tons of skill. You have to be able to survive and do all of this other stuff. Well, let me break it down to you. So, the way that the Division works is they are pushing upon you to use skills. You use smart cover, you use a heal, you use pulse, you use flashbangs, you use shock turrets. These are all the popular skills that you use. And in order to survive, you have to use these skills because, your health doesn't regen past, the bar that you're on. It doesn't really go unless you have some kind of a health on kill, or, you get health back from critical hits or something like that. But that's not going to save your life. I mean, it might save you in a couple sticky situations, but is it as good as using a heal or a healing box? No, definitely not. And you're forced to use these skills, but the gunplay is so cookie cutter and lackluster that you don't really need skill to play the game. And I think that's why a lot of people have gotten bored with the game and are not really that interested in grinding it out. The other thing that makes people a bit weary about playing the game is that they basically know after the 1.3 patch, 1.2 patch, whichever one of those patches that gave us, kind of a way to get easy 240 gear. After you got that, within a month, all of that gear that you grinded for that month was pretty much turned into obsoleteness, if that's even a word. And then now we have the 268 gear score items, and something kind of hints that when the next update for DLC comes walking around, that gear score is going to go back up, and all of this 268 stuff is going to kind of get pushed to the side as well. And people are not having enough time to fall in love with their builds. They're not having enough time to fall in love with their guns. And as soon as they do fall in love with a gun, it gets nerfed. And that's really, really bad customer service. I guess that's one way to think about it. It's really bad customer service because you've been plagued by glitches, plagued by cheaters. You stuck with the game. You couldn't get through the incursion because it was just so balls hard, and then the people who were getting through it were the people who, not all, but mostly cheated their way to the best gear at the time so that they could continue farming for better gear. And if you didn't cheat and you couldn't get your hands on that stuff, or you had trouble because your friends were all leaving and you were a solo player, you kind of see where I'm going with this. This probably is you. You're probably a solo player who can't really find decent people to play with. And it's no fun. And that's just kind of where the game is really separating the people who want to continue but don't have a core group of friends to play it with, and then the people who just play it because it's easy to grieve people, especially in the Darkzone. I really don't know how to kind of implore Massive to fix the game. I really want them to, because even though I am coming down hard on them in the game in this video, I thought the game had a lot going for it. And I still think the game does have, a lot of good things going for it. I just hope that they improve the gunplay and add variety to the game to make it more fun. I think fun should be the number one thing that they start thinking about or working towards with the game. And I do think that the blind rifle is a good first step in that direction. The high-end weapons and these kind of gear sets need to work together to make the game more fun. It is extremely boring to just shoot guys in the face over and over again until they die. That is really, really boring, especially when you talk about the lack of mobility in the game and that you just kind of go cover to cover and you take cover and you try to flank, and that's about it. And there isn't really a lot in terms of crowd control and suppression in the game. You can shoot at somebody until they become suppressed, but if you do that, you waste bullets. And if you waste bullets, you'll quickly find out you needed those bullets, because it takes a lot of bullets to kill something. And, that's, I don't even want to say strike number one, but it's one of the strikes that kind of makes the game slow down and be a bit less fun. So there needs to be more variety. I'm looking forward to the blind rifle. I hope it's as awesome as I think it's going to be, because I do love Toxic on my weapons. I think that having Toxic is really cool, watching them stumble around blind. And having the blind set and a blind weapon, I think, would be really cool. It would add something very different from the way that the game plays through now. And I would really like to see more variety, not only in the missions, but in the interactions within the missions for the combat. I think the combat really needs to switch it up and be varied. Why don't we have any capture and secure type missions with HVTs? Why aren't we, killing the minions? Like, let's say the boss is completely invincible until his, cohorts are gone. And once all of the little cronies and cohorts are gone, then you have to stun the boss by, either using some kinds of traps around the room, or using your flashbang or shock turret to slow him down, or Predator's Mark to make him bleed and slow him down. And then you get him to this kind of critical, vulnerable point, and then you can do something. Maybe you have to use your super, and it has to be like, that damage super. You have to use your super, and then you put him down, and then he's stunned. He's not dead, he's stunned. And then you have to capture him and, do some kind of maybe quick time button press thing to, tie him up, and then, mission complete. Then the JTF can come out and do nothing as they usually do, and then call it in, and you get some kind of intel points or something. And then these intel points you can use for, discovering some new kind of shade tech device that gives you access to a new type of gear set. Having kinds of quests and things like this to make the combat and make the story a bit varied, so that we're not just shooting people, I think would make the game a lot more fun in the long run. And having stuff like this needs to be in the game. It just needs to. There's not really a question of, should it? It needs to. The Dark Zone, you could do something similar with that. You could have bosses in the Dark Zone that are not just, let's get a shot on the boss and then kind of hide in the back and let that other team kill him, and then we'll run up and get the loot later. Have it so that, the team who gets the last hit gets, the loot, and or makes it like a public loot, And, if you try to run and grab that loot, then, you have that whole rogue situation again. Nobody wants to kind of go rogue, and people are really not enjoying the PvP, but there needs to be some kind of variety in how things go. And I mean, actually, I'd like to see, instead of that situation where it turns into a PvP situation, you could have a capture situation that's similar to, what I mentioned before. And having these capture missions would be cool. Or how about a dark zone mission where you escort someone out of the dark zone? Maybe there's a family in the dark zone and you have to take this certain route where you're escorting them. And whoever escorts the family out gets, some of this intel, or, maybe I overheard some guys saying they knew where this thing with shade tech or whatever, just something interesting, something different. Having missions, having things to do in the game that are different from just shooting people in the face are what we need. And if not, the game becomes very stale. And people that I've played with who were diehard Division fans from day one are now saying, I only got on for about 10 minutes. I went into Darkzone. I got bored. I didn't really like it. And I kind of turned it off and played something else. This is becoming a norm. Massive, if by some miracle chance you find this video, you need to start incorporating some of these things ASAP. There needs to be more variety in the missions and how we interact with the enemy that is not just shoot it in the face. There needs to be fun things to do, and there needs to be something that pushes people to go down a path to make their build unique to them and something worth grinding for. And it's not just about gear sets, but it's just about gameplay, gunplay, interactions with the NPCs and the enemies, and just something to keep the game fresh and fun. Grandma's kind of not doing well at the moment. She's in the hospital. Doctors keep saying that they're working on it. She's getting better. They have some ideas on how to fix some of the ailments that she has. And, she keeps talking about the same old things over and over again. And it's not really changing. It's not really getting better, but it is what it is. And you just kind of hope. You're sitting there hoping, and you leave and you come back every now and then, and you bring flowers and you tell her about your day and spend a little bit of time with her, but quickly find out that she has nothing to talk about. There's nothing new going on. And then you leave. You go out and hang out with your friends, have fun, look at, cute girls, see something new. And that's about it. You don't think about grandma until somebody says, hey, did you see grandma? Did you call grandma? And you go, oh shit, let me go hang out with grandma for a second, because you never know. She might be on her last leg. A lot of people are saying the Division won't make it to Christmas. I don't know if that's true. I hope it does. I hope that the Division has a very long future ahead of it, and I hope that they get to make a sequel. But really and truly, they need to put some variety into the gameplay and into the gunplay, especially into the gunplay, because right now it needs something, man. It needs something fun and interesting and cool. They're not paying me to make suggestions. They're not paying me for this, so I've got a ton of ideas, but what's the point of saying it if nobody's really listening, right? I mean, I know you guys who are watching my videos and supporting the channel are listening, and I hear a lot of what you guys are saying. A lot of you are saying a lot of the same things. I just hope the game finds a way to be unique and to be fun at the same time. I hope the best for the game. I really do. And as somebody who makes content for it, I want to be able to report new and cool things and talk about new ideas and new weapons that are cool and fun. I said Deadeye was going to be awesome. got nerfed. Well, it was broken, so it didn't get nerfed. It was broken, and they're fixing it. But hey, I wouldn't know. I don't have it. I'm on PS4, so maybe I'll find out in a couple weeks. But yeah, that's just the way that the game is right now. It's in a state where it could be better. It could be a lot better. I remember when I first played Gears of War, and you had that reload, and you did the reload kind of trick to get faster reload. That was fun. There needs to be fun things like that in the game to make it more fun. But until those things show up and until those things happen, there's an IV in the arm, and we're just kind of waiting for it to heal up until the doctors say they have some good news. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any suggestions, what do you think would improve the game and make it fun? What do you think they really need to do to keep people playing the game? What do you think they need to do to bring people back to the game? Real talk. What do you think? I really want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Twitch, I'm streaming a lot of Destiny. I'm not even going to lie to you, real talk. I'm playing the Division a little bit. I'm playing a lot more Destiny. That Iron, I forget the name of it, the new DLC that they've got coming out, something Iron, whatever that is, that's coming out, and yeah, it looks pretty good. They got a lot of new stuff going on with that. It looks pretty. They got more story and all that other stuff. And I like playing Crucible. I'm learning the No Land Beyond. If you've ever played Destiny, you know that is one of the more challenging weapons to use. I'm having a blast with it. It is very fun. That is the key word. So yeah, if you like Twitch, stop by, check me out on Twitch. But yeah, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think on how to improve this game, make it more fun and enjoyable, and yeah, just keep people around to play it. That is it. I am Khan, TDK, Mr. So Real. Until the next video, thank you guys all so very much. Shout out to Junior. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.